Hello, and welcome to Three Little Words. My name's Annie Conboy, and this is the guidance, wise words, supported words that come through from my inspirers and guides as I try to help pass their message on about how we can help ourselves. Sorry, adjust my glasses. How we can help ourselves and support ourselves over the coming week. Um, it arises out of a Bob Marley song, Three Little Birds, uh, which has a wonderful line, don't worry about a thing, every little thing's going to be all right. And it has a real deep resonance for me with also the prayer of St. Julian of Norwich. Around us, there's so much inspiration and guidance, but sometimes we just need a little bit of direct channeling. So I hope that these three little words can help you to focus this week on what needs to be done and how to get through. So, the first word I want to bring forward is kindness. Um, I always think about random acts of kindness. There are times where we get a lovely little lift when somebody does something a little bit nice for us. It doesn't have to be a big grand gesture. When we can go out in the world and we can be kind to people and they can be kind to us. Kindness is something I think that is often a little bit misunderstood because being kind isn't a rule or a requirement. It's not it's not forced. And yet, so often in the way that we teach about kindness, we kind of get the impression that if you're not being kind, you're being a not very nice person. That kindness has got to be there every second and it's got to be outward facing, and we've got to just do everything everybody wants because that's kind. Actually, it's not kind. Kindness is from the heart. Kindness is being kind to ourselves in order to be kind to others. Kindness is sometimes doing the thing that somebody doesn't want you to do. Kindness is sometimes saying the thing that somebody doesn't want to hear. Kindness is such a delicate balance, but kindness moves us so much when we can feel the benefit of the gift of kindness, because it is a gift. I don't have to be kind. I don't have to smile at anybody. I don't have to have a kind word for anybody. I don't have to make that little trip to do something for somebody or pick something up for somebody. I don't have to knit anything for anybody if I don't want to. Um, but the gifting of kindness, even the quiet silence of kindness, people forget sometimes there are no words, either for ourselves or for others. When the world gives us a sideswipe, sometimes we don't want lots of talk and lots of action and lots of practicality. Sometimes what we need is the quiet, silent support. That in itself is a kindness, allowing us to let the impact of that side swipe wash over us and then help us to find the footing that we need. And so when we think about kindness and random acts of kindness, it's not only about doing, it's about being there, it's about standing with another and about sharing the recognition that we have a shared humanity, that we matter to each other. Even the stranger matters. And I'm being prompted to remember the Good Samaritan in the Bible stories. This idea that kindness is what we gift to others, regardless of our view of others, regardless of our view of ourselves, that kindness is something very beautiful that we can share within ourselves, to ourselves, and outward. And for me, I just want to mention, because the sort of popping this idea in my head, one of the kindnesses that I show myself is to have some downtime, some still time. It might be in a meditation. It might just be sitting quietly listening to the birds. I was doing that this morning. Um, the recognition that we all need those moments where we gift ourselves and others a little bit of something. Alongside that, there's another interesting word that's come through, and that's courage. Ooh. Now, um, quite often people call it bravery. Oh, you're very brave. Um, but actually, for me, there's something deeper with courage. It's difficult in a world that's full of noise and distraction to make your voice heard. It's difficult to say what you believe in, and even harder to live what you believe in. And it takes a lot of courage to say, that's not my path. My path is this. It takes a lot of courage to hold to that path when the pressure is on. Conform, conform, do this, do that. And when you're met with other people's expectations, it takes a lot of courage to resist trying to please everybody. It takes a lot of courage to move from kindness as a requirement that somebody says you should do into kindness that is free flowing and joyful because you choose to do it. So when you think about your life this week, think about the courage it takes to pull in one new breath, to live the steps in your life that are right for you. I had a lovely conversation with a good friend, and we were talking about the fear of dying, how mostly we spend our life rushing around, driven by this deep fear of dying, and so much so that we forget to live. It takes courage to live. It takes courage to achieve your fullest potential. It takes courage to say, this is for me, that's not. It takes courage, as I said, to draw in that next breath and to carry on. And sometimes it takes courage to recognize that we don't feel like drawing in another breath. Courage to recognize that actually it's all too painful or it's all too much. And the courage comes in finding a way through. So it's not Superman or Superwoman bravery we're talking about. We're talking about that ability to dig deep and face what we fear, and face it and work through it and get past it so that it's no longer a fear. It takes courage every second of every day to breathe and live a full life. But that's what we're being encouraged to do. Never mind the world is upside down. Never mind that, you know, the worst side of humanity is on display at the moment. Dig into that courage because it can change. And I talked about hope last week, and I really feel courage is the persistence of hope when it seems like all hope is gone. That's the courage. That's what we've got deep down inside of us. So take those opportunities, go forward, keep moving on in living your best life. Because the third word they gave me is ambition. Now, sometimes ambition is a bit of a dirty word. You're not supposed to have any ambition, particularly if you're from a certain class, or you're a certain race, or you're a certain sexual orientation, or a certain gender. You're not supposed to have ambition because it's only for certain others. And that is a twist about the word ambition. We can all have ambitions. We can all seek to achieve, seek to attain, get to our goals. Now, those ambitions might be as simple as I'm going to draw another breath. Those ambitions might be I'm going to write a book. Second one's nearly finished, folks, on its way soon. It may be that ambition is to bring comfort to others or to create a happy and peaceful family life. That ambition may be to sit for 10 minutes and listen to the birds, whatever that ambition is. It's about setting that recognition within you. I have a purpose. To me, ambition's tied in with purpose. I have something I'm here to do. And that might include sitting listening to the birds for a while. But recognizing that it's not a bad word to own your ambition. Now, I'm not ambitious to step on others. I'm not ambitious to have my 15 minutes of fame. I'm not ambitious to have everybody going, oh, wow, she's so superb. Those aren't my ambitions because they don't enhance my life. And the one thing that's important about ambition is it going to enhance your life? I thought about this a lot in debates about money. We can have oodles and oodles and oodles of money and still have no ambition and still be unhappy. We can have all the cars in the world and the biggest houses and whatever. Are we happy? Is that an ambition or is that filling a need? So this week, try and think about what you are ambitious about, what it is that builds on your purpose. What achievements are going to give you that yes kind of feeling? And I have to say, I always had the ambition to come back to my letters from the light side. I just didn't know when because I had to wait until times were right again. But it was an ambition, it was a goal, it was a desire. So think about, in terms of your ambitions, what do you desire? What would be good for you? And then work towards it. Use that kindness to yourself and that courage of your convictions to take you forward into a better life. The week is full of opportunities. We've got all sorts of things that we can choose to do. It's honing in on what will be the most positive ambition for me. Okay, I think that's it. I hope that you have a wonderful week. I was particularly want to give a shout out to all of the people who watch in other countries, and thank you for the message from Canada. I know that this page goes out all over the place, so thank you to everybody for that. And thank you for your kindness in your comments. Please, it's on YouTube as well. If you can subscribe to the YouTube channel, and then you'll get an update when a new video is posted. Please like the page if you can, and share these words with anyone you think needs a little bit of 3 little words. I'm Annie Conboy. Thank you very much. Speak to you next week. Bye. When I can find the turning off.